You got a marriage on the rocks and it's starting to suck. You got some intimacy issues and your sex life's stuck. Put yourself in the hands of Mrs. Jessica Weeks. She's got all the marriage hacks, tips, tricks, and tweaks. She's bringing truth about marriage, laying myths to rest. Taking on the hard topics no one else will address. Put your earbuds in and listen up real close. Be here every single week and make sure you take notes. For some expert advice way beyond common sense. Take your everyday marriage to a marriage of confidence.
This is the Confident Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm your host, Sean.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Confident Marriage Podcast. This is the no fluff, straightforward, real talk, real world experience, and practical solutions. We talk about what no one else will.
Yep, the podcast that has couples talking, and we're funny too, I think.
I think so.
Everything for your family and relationships, from the playroom to the bedroom. Thank you so much for joining us today.
As always, and thank you in advance, please rate and subscribe to the podcast. We really appreciate that you guys have been doing that. It means a lot to us, and it helps other people find us. So if we don't get rates and we don't get subscribes, people can't discover that we're out there. And so if you find this valuable, if you like the podcast, just take a few moments to give it a rating and write a review. That would be great too.
It helps get our message to more people so that they can benefit from it as well. And don't forget to visit our website. It's www.theconfidentmarriage.com. That's our hub for everything. So we have our blogs and our podcast episodes, outside resources, everything you can find. You can find links to our mentorship program, everything. So www.theconfidentmarriage.com for all things confident marriage.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter when you're on our website. So if you're hearing this episode, chances are you didn't get to hear it early. We release it early on Sunday to our subscribers, and you get to hear our news and you get to read our blogs before everything goes live on Tuesday. So, that can be done on our website too.
Yep, and any special news we have to release will come out in that too.
Yes. You can also find us on all social media. So we are on Twitter at @CMarriage Show, Instagram, Confident Marriage, and Facebook, The Confident Marriage.
And Pinterest. I'm obsessed with us being on Pinterest.
I know, you have been lately. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's old news now.
I don't know what Pinterest is, really.
Oh, man. We'll have to have a discussion. I'll show you my Pinterest pages. They're lots of fun. They're where I get a lot of my recipes. And you know that stroganoff I made that one time that was an absolute fail?
It was terrible, but I ate it all anyway.
He did. The kids and I had cereal, but that was a fail.
Yeah, not everything on Pinterest is good, but we are. So pin us to whatever you pin things to on Pinterest.
Oh my gosh, honey. Valentine's Day is coming.
It is. Romantic time.
I know. Have you planned our Valentine's yet?
Well, we kind of planned it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brainstorm ideas and then you take care of everything before I get a chance to.
I kind of thought that maybe you'd do something on the side for me, other than like what we planned.
Okay. Is this one of those where you gave me mixed messages?
No. We should talk about mixed messages today.
I think we will.
Yeah. So we have a jam-packed episode for you guys today, so make sure you stick around. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is perfectly imperfect couples and marriages, and how you can make your marriage better and happier with this idea, with this understanding.
Yeah, what do you like to say, that people are messy?
Yes.
Yeah, so no one's going to be perfect. They're perfectly imperfect.
They are.
And we're going to tailor your Valentine's Day around that, because that's realistic.
Right.
Thinking your spouse is perfect is not realistic.
No. So we're going to kind of talk about being okay and understanding about you being imperfect, your spouse being imperfect, and your marriage being imperfect. And some of the things that we do that we don't realize that we do that kind of hurts our marriage. And then we're going to talk about how to admire your spouse more often and in a meaningful way, and not just on those special occasions.
Right.
And then lastly, we've got the ultimate gift-proof guide. So
I better pay attention to that.
We are going to talk about how to rethink, not fail, and dodge the double-edged swords of gift giving for your spouse.
Yeah, we're going to get into things like procrastinating and spouses that aren't too clear on what they want for Valentine's Day.
Spouses who are just plain awful gift givers.
Yeah, and why you shouldn't just wait till Valentine's Day to admire and appreciate your spouse.
Yes, I think I said that.
I'm saying it again.
Okay. And, also, we've got some really great tips for spouses who just really need a little bit of help and some ways that you can teach your spouse to be a better gift giver in a loving way.
Yeah, your spouse isn't going to know everything about you. They're not psychic, and it's not really fair for you to expect them to be able to know what you want, especially when you're giving them mixed signals. But I get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah. Because you struggled with that for a long time.
Oh my God, did I? And you, to be honest, were giving me kind of mixed messages and expecting me to be psychic.
I was.
Yeah, and it's one of those unfair games that couples sometimes play, and it comes from a place of wanting to know that your spouse knows you and wanting to know that they'll be able to use their intuition to figure things out without you having to tell them, because sometimes we feel like we shouldn't have to tell our spouse, but how are they going to know if we don't let them know?
Well, and it wasn't always facetious. I mean, there were times where I just really wanted you to run with it, and I really just wanted you to do it on your own, and it meant a lot to me for you to come up with it on your own, and I didn't want to have to sit there and give you a roadmap of do this, then that. Then I just wanted it to come from you, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is clarifying that.
Something where the meaning behind the gift can be more important than the actual gift.
Yes.
But there are people whose love language is receiving gifts, so that's a whole different story.
Yeah. So we'll go all into that. Let's start with being perfectly imperfect.
Honey, you're perfectly imperfect.
Oh, you messed up on Valentine's, didn't you?
No. No, I didn't, ladies and gentlemen, because I let her help plan it.
That's right, you did. I at least know that it's going to be good. Yeah. I think we're all really comfortable with the idea and the thought that it's okay to be imperfect. And I think we all pretty much have a really good understanding of we're not perfect, and neither is our spouse or our marriage.
Well, I think some people fall into the trap of understanding that they themselves aren't perfect and they're okay with it, but they're kind of maybe subconsciously expecting their spouse to be perfect.
Maybe not perfect, but maybe more like them.
And or maybe more in tune with what society and popular culture says that their spouse should be.
Yeah. One of the things, the traps that I fell into a lot, when you're struggling in your marriage and you're looking for resources and, you're just kind of browsing online and, you're looking for some great tips or some great help or advice or, just something that maybe you don't know that can really help your marriage when you're going through struggles. It always caught my attention, and they do it intentionally.
Yes.
Is those titles like How to Know Your Husband's a Healthy Husband.
7 sure signs that they're cheating on you.
Right. Or the 10 ways that you know he's lying. Or how to know when your wife isn't sharing her money spending with you. Like there was just all these like catch-em titles like Surefire.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, cookie cutter, straight to the point. Just very clear signs that these things are occurring in your marriage, whether it's lying, unhealthiness, cheating, financial problem, like just anything you could think of, you could find a bullet 10-point list.
A black and white, no room for allowing that people are individuals or that there's gray areas of just if XYZ, then ABC.
Right. I will never forget. There was this one time that I read this 15 ways to know that your husband's cheating. Because at the time, if you don't know our story at the time, Sean and I were going through a lot and there was a lot of betrayal there. And I was looking for something to make me feel safe and secure and to find a way that I could trust him. And I thought maybe if I read this list that it would give me some hope oh, he's not doing any of these, so I could trust him. And as silly as that sounds, we kind of do that. When we say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous, but that's really why we're reading it, right? So I was reading this and I was thinking, God, I do that. Oh, and I do that. Oh, I do that. But I'm not cheating, and I meet half this. I meet half this list. For God forbid that Sean reads this, because he's going to think that I'm cheating, and I'm not. And this happened a lot with the things that I would read. How to know when you have a healthy marriage or an unhealthy marriage. And I read it and I think, oh my God, we're a train wreck and we're going to crash and burn and we're going to end up divorced. And there's no way we're going to last, because this article is saying right here, and I agree with it, that, these are big no-nos. And it caused a lot of problems in our marriage.
And let's talk about the psychology behind articles and lists that are set up this way. So first, they're counting on the fact that you have some problem that you don't know the solution to, or you have a question in your marriage or your life that you don't know the answer to. And here they are promising you in the title an answer one way or the other.
Right.
Right. And then
it's immediate, instant gratification.
Right. And when you dive into these things and you look at them a little closer, you find that they're not written by any kind of professional. They're not based in anything. There's usually pop-up ads all over them. And the pop-up ads are usually tailored to the problem that they're seeming to address. You know, it's 10 sure signs that he's cheating, and then it's covered with pop-up ads for hire a private investigator, trace every phone number, unlock everything in his phone, you know, and
it leads to you purchasing some kind of thing from them.
Right. And on the surface, they may seem to provide you with those answers, but if you can step back and look at them rationally, what are they really doing? So number one, they're catching your eye. Number two, they're directing you to the page that they're on and you're reading it. And number three, they're shoving a bunch of ads in your face for a purpose. Now, we're not saying that everything in these lists or on these things have no merit, and they're probably based in some kind of truth. And sure, some of the things they list could be a sign that your marriage is terrible, or a sign that your spouse is cheating, or a sign that you're married to a narcissist.
It's not definite. And we're not people that can go by this cookie cutter definition. And yet, with that, I have to say that no matter what article you read, at some point you're going to find faults in yourself, your spouse, or your marriage.
Right.
Because we're imperfect. And so trying to tailor your marriage to this list, whether it's legit or not, whether it's got scientific merit or not, is hurting you, and it's hurting your marriage because you're trying to hit perfection. You're trying to hit this quota, and you're trying to be something that you guys just aren't. Now, that doesn't say that you don't work on your marriage, right? And that you don't strive to be better people. Of course you do.
That should be a constant struggle.
Right. But your perfect marriage list is yours, right? Maybe for you and your husband, your perfect marriage is better communication, ultimate sex, and being able to pay your bills and have a great time together.
God, that sounds great.
Okay, so what if you guys, can get into some pretty nasty arguments, if you guys can really hash things out and not do it in front of the kids and make up and come to a solution after? If you read one of those articles, it would tell you if you get into nasty arguments, you're headed down for a divorce. Okay, well, maybe you're not. I know Sean and I can have some pretty passionate arguments, and within 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how passionate they are, we're laughing at each other. Well, if I went by an article, Sean and I would be completely headed for disaster. Maybe we are. Who knows?
I listened to a podcast one time that said that arguing in a marriage is actually normal. I think it was called Mythical Marriages.
That was our podcast.
Oh, it was.
Oh my gosh. And, we can't even meet our own perfect list.
No.
Because we have traits, we have things that we want to work on. So what I really want to get to you is that I don't want you to stop, educating yourself. And I don't want you to stop Googling things and reading things. But I want you to be mindful of what you do with it, right? And I want you to be mindful that there is no quota you need to meet. There is no expectations you have to have. Even the most healthy marriages have some really unhealthy things about them.
Right.
And that's where you and your spouse need to work together to be working on those things every day. But that doesn't mean you're doomed. It doesn't mean that it's all over. It doesn't mean that you got to hurry up and fix it all now. It just means that you guys are being intentional, like we said last episode.
Right.
In working on yourselves and your marriage every day. And that is the sign, the single sign that you are in a healthy marriage, that you guys are trying every day to be better.
Yeah, not having any problems at all is not a sign of a healthy marriage. Being able to identify the problems you have and constantly working to improve those problems. Now, that's the sign of a healthy person in a healthy marriage.
Yeah. I can tell you guys right now, not in my personal life or my professional life or any of the couples that we've done workshops with or that we have counseled, no one we have ever met, not once, has had anything remotely close to any list I've ever read, any expectation I've ever heard. Like, no one does. And when Sean and I, and we've talked about this, when we thought we have met, like, oh my God, they are the perfect couple. We find out later, not so much.
Maybe not behind closed doors, because
Yeah.
that's the face they're presenting to everyone else. We don't know what's happening.
And that's not to put anybody down. It's to say that it's okay to be imperfect.
Right. And it's very normal.
So I hope that gave you guys some inspiration. I really, really wanted to touch on that.
If you're reading an article and it's shoving 5 or 10 or 12 pop-up ads in your face right away immediately, then that's a sign that it's probably geared to sell things to you, not to help you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that in there real quick.
You know, I've been able to look back and see how some of these things have created problems in our marriage and have made it more difficult for me to admire you more. And so sometimes I would read these things and inside I would get a little resentful. And then maybe later on that day you do one of those things. And without really realizing that I was putting 2 and 2 together, I would get more angry with you about it than I would have typically. And I just think that these kind of things, they can soak into our marriage and start to create more problems than helping. Again, that doesn't mean that you don't pay attention to these things and you don't fix them, but just be aware of how they're impacting you and how they're making you feel and view your spouse, yourself, and your marriage.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, just as those articles kind of bother me about how you view your marriage and how they kind of twist how you view your spouse, something else that kind of, are you ready for it, kind of bothers me about Valentine's Day?
What?
And it's the same with Mother's Day for me too. And while it's definitely important to have a day where you admire your spouse extra, that you shouldn't be waiting for a holiday to show them love and show them how much you appreciate them. And it's like with Mother's Day, you shouldn't be waiting until one day out of the year to show your mother how much you appreciate her.
Right.
It should be an everyday intentional thing, right? So, and those holidays were kind of promoted by Hallmark and greeting card companies and chocolate companies of like, oh, Valentine's Day, buy a card for your... Not saying you have to buy a card for them every day and give them chocolate every day, but there are definitely ways we should be admiring our spouse throughout the year, not just waiting till Valentine's Day to do it.
Yes, and this does not mean that you could just skip out on Valentine's Day.
No,
because Jessica and Sean said that it wasn't important and that I need to do it every day.
Don't say that the Confident Marriage told you it was healthy not to do shit for Valentine's Day.
That's not what we're saying. But taking Valentine's Day, like, let's really think about it. What are date nights? Like, you should be having weekly date nights.
Yes.
And so that is like a reliving Valentine's Day on a minor level. Once a week, doing something special for each other with each other.
How about taking all those sweet things you write in your Valentine's Day card and maybe saying those things to your spouse on a regular basis?
Yeah. You know, there's lots of ways that you can show your appreciation and your admiration for your spouse on a more regular basis. So one of the things that you can do is, and this is something that we do regularly, what is something that really relaxes your spouse that they absolutely love or that is just luxurious to them? For Sean, he likes his back rubbed. Lately, it's been more of a necessity because he's been in a lot of pain than a want. For me, it's my hair rubbed. I cannot get enough of it. It's just so relaxing and amazing. And so we really try, without putting too much pressure on each other, to do that for one another once a week.
Yeah, no, and I think we both do a pretty good job of when you see that I'm in pain, you'll offer it without me having to ask for it. And if I see that you're anxious or not being able to relax, I'll start rubbing your hair. And, you know, one of the things that we've talked about before, one of the things I do every day to show my love is I leave the house before she's up. So I always have her coffee ready to go for her, and I always leave her a love note.
You know, I know a lot of couples do this, but I wonder if enough of us do it or if we're paying attention enough to what we're doing. Because I hear about our clients and couples that we keep in contact through social media. They do amazing things for each other on a regular basis. And I love hearing that. And then I hear other couples saying, gosh, I wish my spouse would do something like that for me. And my response is always, don't wait for them to do it for you.
Yeah.
Start doing it for them.
Lead by example.
Yeah. So, and I know you guys probably have some really, really great ideas on ways that you can show your spouse love and appreciation and admiration every day or every couple days or once a week. But really start thinking about ways that you can do that, if it's flowers or a little gift, or you can do something for them once a week, or help them do something that they want, like run a bath for them if baths are their thing. Like there's so many ways that you could do it, and it doesn't have to cost money.
No.
And it doesn't have to take a whole bunch of time if you guys are really busy. Just the initiation of it And the time and the attention to it really does mean a lot. And I know that we get so busy and we kind of go through the motions and we're like robots day to day. And we think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Don't do it right now.
Yeah, it goes back to last week's topic of being intentional. I kind of talked about it in my article too of, you should be waking up in the morning with the conscious thought of how am I going to admire my spouse today? How am I going to show them love? And you kind of have that in your head for the whole day. Not that it consumes your thoughts, but it's in the back of your head. And then you're taking action steps to show that love. And that's part of being intentional.
Yeah, it really is. So think of it as doing mini Valentine's Day a couple times a week or once a week. Not just a big shebang on Valentine's Day, but mini Valentine's Day. As often as you can.
Mm-hmm. Lots of little things for your partner. They have to know that you love them, and everybody has a different love language. So learn how they feel love, learn how they receive love, and then love them that way.
Yeah. There was that one time, it was not too long ago.
Was it in band camp?
No. So I usually make Sean's lunches for him. And my son and I were at the store, and they had these like round coconut pink snowballs. And so they were in a clear package and it looked like a pair of breasts. So
oh my God, I can't believe you're going to tell this story.
I'm going to tell a story. So I grabbed them and then I wrote a note on them that said, I can't wait for you to come home and play with mine, and put them in his lunch. So when he opened his lunch, we were on the phone, we were on FaceTime, and we were catching up on our day, and he just about turned as red and pink as those coconut snowballs. It was hilarious.
Definitely made me feel loved, and a couple other things too. And it was a good night.
It was. So cute, little, sweet, silly, just spare the moment things like that, just be spontaneous.
So I asked her, what am I supposed to do? Leave you a hot dog with a note on it?
I said, no, don't leave me a hot dog with a note on it. So I said, but you can leave me a Twinkie.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've heard our episode on porn,
you'll find out all about what a Twinkie is.
This would even make you laugh more. So let's dive into the ultimate gift giving for your spouse, because this not only plays into Valentine's Day, but this is really good for every holiday where you get your spouse a gift.
Yes, we're going to give the top 10 gifts you must give your spouse or else they don't love you.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just kidding.
Not only will it help you with all the holiday gifts, as I was saying, but it will help you with doing Valentine's on a smaller scale throughout your relationship in the year. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the ways that we really fail as spouses when it's a holiday or some kind of special occasion is procrastination.
Oh, I'm kind of averting my eyes and turning my head because that's me.
Don't jump into the shame cycle here, Sean.
So I guess I can speak on this pretty clearly. So procrastination is one of the things that I fell into for not just Valentine's Day, but holidays and birthdays. And I tend to procrastinate in a lot of areas, but gift giving was one of them, and it caused a lot of problems for our marriage because when you procrastinate and you're throwing things together last minute, it kind of sends that message to your partner that you're not thinking about them, you're not being intentional, you don't really care that much, and you're just doing it because you have to. So I fall into the trap of thinking, well, I've got plenty of time, and it's not that I wasn't thinking about her for her birthday or for Valentine's Day. I was thinking about it months ahead of time and thinking about ideas and all that, but then you get caught up in day-to-day life, and my problem was that while I was thinking about it, I wasn't putting any action into effect enough ahead of time to be able to have everything ready. And so I had all these great plans, and the thought and the intention was there, but I didn't do anything about it. So once we got to the holiday, I was like, oh crap, it's 3 days away. And I was having to try to throw things together. And Jess was like, well, what do you got planned for Valentine's Day? Well, I got all these plans. Well, what have you done? I'm going to do it.
It was very obvious, too. It's very obvious to your spouse when you throw it together, even if you come up with a great thing. And they can kind of tell, especially when they see you scrambling a couple days before a holiday. Sean actually pulled a very classic move one time. It was my birthday. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And he was heading home on the freeway from work. And it was like 2 days before my birthday. And I said, so what are we doing for my birthday? And I knew where he was on the freeway. And I knew that freeway very well. And he all of a sudden says, well, I was thinking of taking you to Fuddruckers. And I said,
It wasn't Fuddruckers.
I said, Sean, there is no Fuddruckers where we live. There's only a Fuddruckers in the Bay Area. And you just happen to be on the part of the freeway where there is a Fuddruckers billboard sign.
It was Fenton's, and there was a billboard sign for it. But that was a birthday tradition in my family growing up, was that we always went to Fenton's.
But see, I could tell.
But I did get my idea from the billboard.
And he would not admit it at that point. Like in that moment, he's like, no, I was going to drive you to, Fenton's. And I'm like, so you were going to take me to a birthday dinner 2 hours away. He's like, yeah. Uh-huh. So the point of that hilarious story is...
I'm not laughing.
Yes, you are.
This is going to be a whole episode of putting me on blast.
No, you can put me on blast because I have failed a time or two.
I don't remember any of those times.
That's just because
my wife's perfect.
I'm a good gift giver. What can I say?
She's perfectly perfect.
No, but that is one of my strong points.
I'm a good gift giver. That's
I'm
why.
a really good gift giver. So, and I'm a good bargain shopper too. But my point there is that your spouse knows when you're throwing it together. And even though you don't intentionally mean it to be hurtful or mean for it to say anything in particular, and we're kind of reading through the lines, whether it's a he or a she, it does kind of, make it feel a little half-assed. And it kind of hurts a little bit that you didn't put a little bit more time and energy into it. So it's really important that you not only think about it, but you start acting on it and you start planning on it and you start making those orders or seeing where you can get what it is you're looking for, or maybe you even come across something better. Like there was this one time that I wanted to get my stepdad a cutting board because he loves to smoke meat. And
it sounds so bad.
And I knew he needed a really nice cutting board.
He can really handle his meat.
He needed a really nice cutting board, Sean.
Okay.
For the meat he would smoke. And I ended up finding one that was not only nice and thick and wouldn't warp, but I could get his name engraved in it. But I started looking in advance. So things like that happen when you start planning and preparing. You come up with something better or perfect.
So, not to bring up one of my successes here, Jess had always talked about how she was jealous of women that would get these huge flower arrangements at work and how cool it is to get them in front of everybody.
I used to, and we talked about that on the last episode.
And so what I did this Valentine's Day was I remembered that and I planned ahead and I made sure that I put in my order with enough time in advance to ensure that they were able to be delivered on Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And I got those flowers to her and she was able to get them and she was surprised by them and she got them on time and she got them on Valentine's Day in front of everybody.
Right. Well, it wasn't this Valentine's Day. It was quite a few years ago. Yeah. But what I remembered.
I didn't say it was this Valentine's Day.
What I remembered after we did that episode, and I remember I would get jealous, and I would wish that you would do that for me. But you know what I forgot is that a couple years before that, you sent me Sherry's Berries chocolate covered strawberries to my work one time, and I completely forgot you did that. And here I was holding this resentment that you never did anything nice for me. I'm sorry.
Thank you. One of the messages with that last part was it's not just the gift that shows your spouse you love them. It's the time and the effort and the thought that you put into it.
Yeah. So you don't have to spend any money to give your spouse an amazing gift. So let's kind of go back to one of the classic gifts for a spouse, right? So you make them dinner and you have rose petals leading up to the bed with candles. Well, you make dinner with things that you have at home if you're not able to go to the store and buy things, because we're all experiencing hard times and that might not be an option to get, a $50 steak and make this expensive dinner.
Right.
You got to have at least one or two candles in the house. If you have a Dollar Tree or a Dollar Mart or some kind of, really cheap store, they have candles. Just put them on a glass plate because you don't want it to ruin your furniture or burn anything down. Then, the roses. Roses are expensive. Mm-hmm. My mom just recently had her birthday, and I went to go buy her roses. It was $60 for 6 roses. I was like, oh my God.
So just go around the neighborhood and cut your neighbor's roses at night when they're not awake.
Or you can take a walk
do that.
down your block and find someone's house who has beautiful roses and ask them if you can take a couple of clippings. Usually people will say yes. I know you think it's weird, but they might actually appreciate someone pruning the rose bush for them. And so there you go, rose petals.
Well, and there was the year that instead of buying you expensive chocolates, I bought some cheap, blank, plain, heart-shaped sugar cookies from the grocery store and used a $2 bottle of icing to make you custom Valentine's Day personalized cookies.
He did. And you guys, they were ugly and they were the sweetest thing he had ever done for me.
I thought the poem I wrote you was the sweetest thing I'd ever done for you.
That too. You know what? I can't count because you are pretty good at doing things that are very sentimental.
Oh, someone wants a little more for Valentine's Day. They're kissing up.
You could write your spouse a love note.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tell them how much you love them, why you love them more today than the day you got married, why your marriage is so much more deeper and has so much more meaning than you thought it could. Like, you can write them a letter, even if you're not a great liar.
Whoa.
Letter writer.
I think what she's trying to say
letter
is...
writer people
So
don't lie.
maybe you're terrible at writing poetry. Maybe you suck at it. So how much more meaningful would it be to your spouse that you, who's terrible at writing poems, took the time and put yourself out there being vulnerable with your spouse to write them a poem, a terrible poem?
Yeah, that's okay. I think I've done that a time or two.
Well, but your spouse is looking at it as like, look at all the effort they put in an uncomfortable place for them. They're being vulnerable with me. That's emotional intimacy. Oh my God, I want to drag them into the bedroom right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those little things that really do come from you and shows that they come from you mean so much more than, I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars on a great gift, but a gift that is genuinely from your spouse means more to you than anything money can buy, because it's priceless, you know? And I know a lot of people think, oh, that's corny, that's cheap. You know, if I were to give my spouse just a poem for Valentine's Day, she would, or he, I just genderized that right now, they would probably rip my head off. Okay, well, if you really feel that way, then we've got solutions for you.
Yeah, some people, so I'm sure you all have heard of the different love languages, and we each have our own love languages, and one of those love languages is receiving gifts, and some people...
And that's not a bad thing. It's okay.
No, it's not in the same light of, you know, they're just greedy or whatever.
No.
It's some people...
That's just how they are. And that's okay.
And sometimes the bigger the gift, the more love they feel. And if that's how your spouse is, you got to respect them in that and love them that way.
Remember, we're not cookie cutter. We're not all the same.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. That's just the way that we're made. My mom's kind of like that.
No, your mom's just greedy.
Oh my God. I hope to God she doesn't hear that.
Kidding.
My mom is very much a materialistic person. She likes gifts. And that's because she grew up very poor. And she didn't have much in her life. And so for her, a sign of love and affection and a sign of security is gifts. And that's okay. I'm more of a sentimental person, though I do appreciate a good gift.
God.
I do appreciate a good gift here and there. So what do you do in those moments where you know that your spouse is just one of those people that really like to be bought something? So the first thing I'm going to say, and this starts before the gift giving, is get your spouse to start talking to you about the things that they like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're one of those people and your spouse fails consistently to get you a good gift, start telling them, you know, a week or two before the holiday, say, you know, there's this perfume I saw at the department store the other day. Who's going to department stores right now? Who am I kidding?
Right.
But there's this perfume that I saw at the department store before COVID hit, or, you know, I saw online and I really, really want it, and write the name down on a sticky note and put it on the refrigerator, you know.
Subtle.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
So have a conversation. We all want our partner to be able to know instinctively what we want and get us these perfect gifts. But the truth is, and reality is, that they're not psychic. And we kind of have to teach them and nudge them in the direction of what we like. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they don't love us. It doesn't mean they're not in tune with us. They need to learn how we are and who we are so that they can be that way. So
Right.
if you've been married for 30 years and your husband or wife is still having trouble getting you a good gift, then maybe they're not paying attention to you. But,
Right.
Don't do that thing where you expect your partner to know what you want. And then if they don't live up to that expectation, which is kind of an unhealthy expectation, then you hold a resentment towards them. Maybe you haven't taught them what you like, and maybe they don't know. So it's okay to have a conversation with them. And it doesn't even have to be as overt as that. You can drop hints. And one thing I was terrible at was picking up on these hints with Jess for years and years. And now I've learned that I need to pay attention throughout the year, because she will tell me when we're out or when she sees stuff what she likes. And I know now to make a little mental note of that, or even an actual note of that, and write it down, or just hop on there and buy it right away and tuck it away for later.
So make sure that you're really talking to your spouse about the things that you want, the things that you like, and I know all too often, last minute we're searching, we're trying to find great things. And I'm going to go back to those articles, you guys. And then we come across the articles, the top things to not get your spouse for Valentine's. And, one of them that I saw the other day when
it was like top 10 things to never get your spouse for Valentine's Day.
It was a top 10 things to never get your wife for Valentine's Day. And it was gift cards. It was bath stuff like bombs and bubbles and, those, really scratchy sponges. And never get your spouse, never get your wife house goods like vacuums or mops or, anything that's for the house. And I thought, whoa, they've got me all wrong.
Yeah,
because
just got a little vacuum fetish.
I love to vacuum, and I love a really good, quick, easy mop for when the kids spill something, and I can clean it up really quick. I love stuff for the house and bath. Oh, let's get down with some good bath stuff and gift cards.
Gift cards, even.
Heck yeah. You get me $100 gift card to my favorite makeup store, I am so happy. So don't always assume that because one person said, don't ever get your wife, don't ever get your husband these things.
Yeah, because they know your wife and your husband personally.
So don't rely on those things. Pay attention to what your spouse does. Does your spouse like to go to the makeup store? Because I don't know if where you're at, they have stores that are dedicated to just makeup and hair products, but we do here. Do they like to go into that store a lot? Do they like to go to a certain department store all the time? And are they okay with gift cards? What's wrong with a beautiful card and $100 gift card in there? Baby, I didn't know what to get you, but I want you to go spoil yourself. Here you go. Like, again, your spouse might not be okay with that, but think outside the box.
Listen, I want everybody, male, female, married, dating, whatever, swallow your damn pride and sit down with your partner and just have a conversation with them, an open, honest conversation to clarify.
What are your no-nos?
This is what I'd like, and this is what maybe would kind of offend me. This is what would show me you love me, and this would just come across as half-assed to me. I love gift cards, but don't ever get me bath bombs. I don't know. Apparently there's wars going on in the bath. We need bombs. I don't know what's happening in there.
Oh, that was hilarious.
There's war out there.
Yeah, let your spouse know what those no-nos are.
Yeah, just swallow your pride and have a dang conversation. It doesn't mean your spouse doesn't love you if they don't know what you like. It just means that you guys haven't talked about it yet. People are not psychic.
Right. And if you're in doubt and you really don't know and you think you've got this great idea, but you don't want to spoil the surprise, say, you know what, honey? I was thinking about this and this for your birthday. Is that something you'd really like? Or you can even, I know we say no lying, but you can even say, hey, I heard my coworker talking.
A gray area. I don't know if we want to go there.
I heard my coworker talking about doing this and this for their spouse, and I kind of wanted to do something along those lines for you. What do you think? Would you like that? Or I don't know. Find a way.
Talk to someone who's known them for a long time. Talk to their mom. Talk to their brother. Talk to their best friend.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody who's known them. Hey,
if you can't talk to your spouse,
yeah. Think they'd like this? And keep in mind that not everybody likes surprises.
Right. I don't.
My wife doesn't like surprises, and I've tried to surprise her because I do like surprises. So I thought I was being like, oh, I'm good, and she doesn't care about surprises.
No, it didn't go over well.
And it actually went worse.
So there's some really good starting points for trying to improve your gift giving to your spouse. Now, the last one that I really want to bring up is a game changer, you guys.
Oh, I'm ready.
And I started doing this a couple years ago, and I did not realize how powerful this really is. So I set up an Amazon wish list for my husband, myself, and my 2 children. And every time we're on Amazon and we see something we want that we can't buy right now, or it's just a want and it's not something we really need because we're being careful with money, someone places it in their wish list. My daughter does it. My son will say, Mom, will you buy me da-da-da-da? And I said, nope, but maybe for your birthday or Christmas or something. And then I'll go online and I'll put it in his wish list. Now, how does this help you? Well, this goes to admiring your spouse throughout the year and really getting a good idea of what they want on the special occasions. This not only helps teach your spouse the kinds of things that you love and that you want and that you appreciate, but it also gives your spouse the opportunity to feel like they are doing right by you and that they're getting you exactly what they want. And so I know that this kind of contradicts the whole idea of planning and preparing and thinking it out and making it come from you, but it doesn't, because it kind of gets their thinking going and, their creative juices flowing, and then they see something like, oh yeah, and I'm going to do this and this, and, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they just go on your list and buy you whatever's on your list and that's that.
Yeah, I think it actually goes right towards spending the time and taking the time to get to know your partner. And so with the list, don't just put down little things. Don't just put down things for a specific occasion that you'd want to get. Don't just put down things that you can afford. I mean, throw everything on there. Everything you see that you want, no matter how out of reach it is or how crazy it is or how little it is. Because if your partner's going on there and looking through that list on a regular basis, not only are they going to see concrete things they can get you, but they're going to get an idea of what you do like. And so maybe they're out at the store 3 months from then and walking through and they see something, oh my gosh, I saw something like that on their Amazon list, but there was no way we were going to be able to afford what they had on their Amazon list. But here's something that's almost the same and it's on sale for really cheap. I'm going to buy this for them right now.
Right. It really does serve a really good purpose, and it really does help each other not only understand one another, but help you guys really get each other things that are really within what you want and are meaningful and things that you're really going to use.
And it'll take a little bit of that out of the situation of the, what do you want for Christmas, honey? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad about that. What do you want for your birthday? I don't know. I don't really want it. I don't really need anything.
Yeah. And there are times where I really don't know. And, and maybe Sean doesn't know, but then we revert back. Well, what about your Amazon list? Do you still want those things on there? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm. And, that I've used your Amazon list a lot for just getting you things just because. If I want to just buy you something because in that moment I'm wanting to get you a gift so you feel loved, I'll hop right on Amazon and you're like, what are you doing, honey? And I'll tell you, don't worry about it. You'll see in a couple days.
Yeah. And that's what I mean when I say this is ways that you can show your spouse admiration throughout the year and not just on those special holidays. Because what about those weeks that maybe your spouse had a really bad week at work or with the kids, or it was a really hard, trying week, and you want to do something a little special for them and lift their spirits? Hop on Amazon, look at their list, and buy something within your means and have it delivered to them. Like, these are little things that you can do, and
that's why I'm so bad at interrupting. That's why I was saying, don't just put certain things on the list. Put big things, put tiny things, put little things. So what did you have? You had pens you wanted on there for a couple bucks, and all the way up to like Amazon has everything. So if you don't even have to buy it from Amazon. Use it as a way to let your partner know a little more about you.
And you know what the surprising thing is, and this is a bonus, is come my kids' birthdays or come Christmas time and family are, calling, emailing, what would you like? What would the kids like? I'm like, oh, here's our Amazon list. And
saves the time of having to explain to everybody and then sit there with your fingers crossed, hoping that they didn't get your kid something that...
Or you don't know what their budget is and you don't want to be rude to ask, and so they can pick themselves within their own budget. And then there are times where like, I don't even know where to start. Like, it just really diffuses a lot of that, that.
And you can make sure your
stress.
You can make sure your 5-year-old gets a nice educational toy instead of a Nerf gun that shoots 40 rounds per second at your face.
Are we speaking from experience?
Yes. Don't ever buy our son a dang Nerf gun.
He's got hundreds of them yet. Which is funny because...
He doesn't need any help destroying things. He doesn't need bigger weapons. He does just fine destroying things on his own.
Yes, he does. But he is a very rowdy 5-year-old. I've got my hands full here. So those Amazon lists, you guys, I mean, honestly, give it a shot and try it and add things to it. You would be so surprised at how much it makes things so much easier, and it really helps your spouse get to know you. Because Sean was putting things on his list. I was like, what? Really? And I would never thought of it. So he's a carpenter, right? And there are special tools for his trade. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea what they look like. I don't know what they're called. And I wouldn't know which one he wanted.
Right. So in that, there's certain, so for work, for me, my tools are my money makers, and I got to have certain ones because not every hammer is the same. Not every speed square is the same, like by any means.
And he picks on me about my purses.
And at work, they say when you're hitting something and you're not doing a very good job of it, they say, hey, go ahead and hit it with your purse. And I say, I don't have my purse, but it's the Coach one over there. So there are very specific things that I want. And if I say I want a new hammer and she goes out and gets me a hammer and it's a terrible hammer, so I made an extra list. I made a separate Amazon list that's called work, SH''T. And she can go on there. And if I say, well, I need a new torpedo, and she doesn't have any idea what that is, we can't order submarine explosives to the house. She's going to get the wrong thing. No, not in California.
I think we just got tagged by the FBI.
Wouldn't be the first time. So, so she can go on there and go, oh, there it is. That's okay. He's got that. He's got the brand he wants. Okay, boom, done, ordered.
Yeah. So don't think of it as cheating.
No.
Think of it as a surefire way to make sure that you guys are really giving each other the things that you want and that you love.
We don't advocate cheating in any way, shape, or form on this show.
Nope.
So now nobody listening to the show will ever buy their spouse a bad gift or come up short on Valentine's Day ever again.
Yeah, right. Remember at the beginning of the show, we said we're imperfect.
Oh, yeah.
And we're in perfect marriages.
No, you're going to screw up all the time.
Yeah, we all do.
But at least you'll have a good start and a couple good ideas from this show to set you in the right direction.
Right. And that Amazon list, you guys, I'm telling you, It's a game changer.
We're not sponsored by Amazon, in case you were wondering.
No, we're not.
We should be. They got enough money to throw around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go onto our website and buy a book from our marriage resources, you
will help support the show.
You will help support the show because those links are linked to our affiliate
Please help
program.
Support the show. We need all the support we can get so I can afford to buy those expensive Valentine's Day gifts for my wife.
He does not.
I'm just kidding.
I do want to give a shout out to our mentor couples out there.
Oh, yeah. So to the clients that we have that we're mentoring right now, if you guys are listening, and you better be because you're supposed to be, we just want to say that you guys are doing an amazing job. We really appreciate all the hard work you're putting in. And we are really enjoying working with you guys because not only are we hopefully helping you guys out, but we get a lot out of it too.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about here is helping people. So right on to our mentoring couples. You guys are doing amazing, and we appreciate all the hard work, time, and effort you're putting in. And that goes for the workshop participants as well.
You guys are doing awesome too. And we love the relationship that we've established with you guys, and the time we get with you and the time that we spend. It really does mean a lot to us. And we just admire each and every one of you. So keep up the great work, and a shout out to you because we want you to know, even though we say it on our calls, you are amazing and you're doing great.
You really are, even though it doesn't probably feel like that all the time.
Right. So yes, good job. Next week, we have a special guest. He is a TED Talk speaker, multiple book author, super inspirational.
Friend of the show.
Very close friend of the show. We absolutely love him. Joshua Shea is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about porn. And we're going to be talking about how to know, here we go, how to know if your spouse...
Top 10 reasons that your spouse may be a porn addict.
How to know if you are a porn addict, the signs. And he comes from experience. He's dealt with porn himself. How to be able to talk to your spouse if you suspect that they're a porn addict. And if you are a spouse who is dealing with betrayal from porn, because that can be an issue in marriages. I do not want you to feel embarrassed or feel like it's not really a thing. It is a thing. It's a real thing. So we're going to be talking about betrayed spouses. We're going to be talking about pornography addiction. And it was an amazing interview, and we cannot wait to air it next week. So come back for that.
Yeah, Joshua is a betrayal trauma specialist, and he's a porn addiction expert, and he speaks from personal experience. We have his website up on our resources page. Check that out before the show. You can get to know him a little bit. But we will, unlike those lists we talked about at the beginning of the show, we'll kind of sift through some of the real-world, practical, tangible ways you can tell if either you yourself have a problem with pornography or you think your spouse might. Not giving you
highlights
or 10 sure signs, because there are no sure signs that are true for everybody.
Right. And so we are really looking forward to providing that to you guys. We hope that you guys tune in. So
I know you all will.
Yeah. Don't forget to, before you exit out of your phone, an app or your computer, whatever you're listening to us on,
Rate us.
And
Leave us a review.
Yes, we really do. Honestly, we appreciate it. We hope that everybody has a fantastic and lovely week and enjoy Valentine's Day. Look, there's still time, everybody. So
Yep, you're last minute now, but listen to the show and get it together, and then it won't be like that next year. And for everybody else out there that's football fans, we're recording this on Super Bowl Sunday morning, but obviously when you hear this, the Super Bowl will have already happened. So either congratulations Tom Brady on another Super Bowl win, or congratulations Patrick Mahomes on a second Super Bowl win.
I hear some bitterness.
The Cowboys are not anywhere close to being in the Super Bowl.
But my Packers almost were.
If Aaron Rodgers can stop being so butthurt about everything.
Oh my goodness.
No, I think Aaron Rodgers got MVP today, actually.
Oh, did he?
I believe
I haven't
they gave
heard
him
that.
MVP.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well, he deserved it.
So, until next week, you guys have a fabulous week. Enjoy your Valentines.
Yeah, have a good Valentine's Day, and make sure you're giving meaningful gifts, and don't wait until Valentine's Day to show your partner how much you love them.
Yeah. This is the Confident Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm your host, Sean.
Ta-ta.
Yeah, we'll catch you next week.